What do you think about the Kendrick Lamar halftime show?
It was hot. It was hot. It was hot to me. I
thought GNX was a really mid album. I thought.
Pause.
No,
Pause.
No, GNX was not that good of an album.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna say, I'm Dunzo. This is my opinion. 10 toes down.
This is your closer.
This is it.
The performance in itself was trash.
And here's the other thing.
To come out there, crip walk.
Nah, but here's the other
thing. And then it's about your ex, and then you're married.
Here's the other thing.
Bro, what?
Yo, what the?
It's a whole new studio, guys. Welcome into the Hotpot podcast, guys. Thank you for joining us today. As you make your way into the podcast today, be sure you subscribe to the Patreon, the Hotpot Studio, and subscribe to the Hotpot and show us some love. We want to get into this Kendrick Lamar NFL halftime show.
Oh man, you talking now? You talking now?
All right, but anyways, let's get straight into this because we got a lot to talk about. So Chaz, what do you think about the Kendrick Lamar halftime show? It seemed like you had a lot to say to me.
He did what he had to do. He did.
But you're bringing in a different point. You're bringing in a different point about how there was like mixed signals.
There were a couple of mixed signals out there. I saw a lot of people, having one opinion or another. And honestly, kind of valid. It wasn't the best visual experience that we've ever seen at the Super Bowl.
Right.
Heck, even I think one of the most recent bowl games that were not the Super Bowl that Beyonce did was a lot more visually entertaining than what Kendrick Lamar did.
Yeah, it's a Super Bowl.
But I think the story of the beef, the story of everything that's happened in the last year between Drake, one of the biggest stars on the planet, the biggest rapper on the planet at the time, and Kendrick Lamar, like that whole storyline just blew that whole thing up. So it did enough for me, man. I was going nuts. I was on my feet. I'm gonna tell you that.
I have some mixed signals about it. Like, so I know a lot of people say that the performance in itself was trash. Like they say it was trash or all these other things, right? Mm-hmm. Now, for me, I don't think that the performance was trash. Like, I like, the red, white, blue theme about it. I could care less about all the hidden messages that people are trying to say. That's, whenever it comes to music, I feel like what you really want to try and do is display that or at least be able to portray that within your lyricism. And I feel like if you're unable to do that and if people have to go deeper into things, then that just means you have a bad delivery as an artist when it comes to rap.
I remember you having this take when the songs were first coming out. The whole rap you song.
And this
I get that.
Yeah, and this stays. I stayed the same.
I get you on that. There is something to be said though about like
I'm not ragging on the performance. I thought the performance was. I won't say it's a 9. I'm not gonna say it's, and I won't say it was a 2. But I would say it's somewhere in the middle. It's a regular performance to me. It seemed as a regular performance. It seemed like most of the time people were expecting to see not like us. It looked like that was the banger like that everybody was waiting for. Yeah. But I thought that most of the track, like the track list being heavily weighed from the GNX album, I didn't like GNX. I thought GNX was a really mid album. I thought.
Pause.
No, seriously.
No.
GNX was not that good of an album.
Oh, you gotta chill.
Like I know it has the West Coast vibe or the West Coast sound about it, but he had other things like Damn. I thought Damn, like if he pulled more tracks from his hits, but pulling something from something that already didn't get a high rating, right? It didn't chart as high. GNX did not chart high.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this. He already did.
And I won't say the project was trash, but I'm just saying it wasn't one of his best albums for him to like try and pull a lot of the tracks for a halftime show at the Super Bowl. I feel like that's where you should have been able to pull in much more of your long legacy hits, so that people could actually tune with you.
His tour is about to start right now, so he's about to be on tour doing GNX. So
yeah,
I think some things are relevant, and as an artist, like you kind of don't always want to be on your old stuff just because. But at the same time, the album was good, bro. I'm not about to take the blast from.
So why didn't he pull from?
I think there were one or two tracks because I don't think that SZA song was on.
No, Luther. Luther was on GNX.
Luther was on GNX. Okay,
but to me, that's not a halftime show song. You know what I'm saying?
So no,
like,
what
Luther's a great song.
What that song did is it allowed some dynamicism of the performance. So like it was started off high, it came down, gave some people that liked the somber songs what they wanted, and then it ended off with like a high energy piece. So honestly, the song track wise wasn't my beef. Like if it could have been better or anything like that, it would have just been about like how can you make the visuals even more dynamic. Because what I saw was from people's videos that were taken inside the stadium.
Okay.
For them, it looked hella regular. What?
It was.
Something on the screen? It wasn't for them.
No.
It was only for TV.
Well. If you did you see Kai Cenat stream?
I didn't see the stream. No.
So Kai actually, he was actually there in attendance.
Yeah.
And he was
Maguire and all this stuff.
Well, no, he was actually saying, "Hey guys, I was actually there." And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it was dead silent. Everything was dead silent. And when he watched the replay, they actually put crowd cheers in the actual broadcast. So the actual broadcast was actually fake in comparison to what the actual people there were actually feeling.
Kendrick Lamar came out. Word to my mother. If anybody was there, y'all knew it was. Y'all knew it. Y'all felt it. Crowd was making no noise. This is me being honest. I was there. The loudest times that they made, the loudest time that the crowds did was, I think him being shown for the first time, SZA, Samuel Jackson being shown for the first time, and then They Not Like Us. Now, I honestly feel like some of the songs he should have switched out for more. You feel me? For like another song or some shit. Like there's some songs on there that I was like, damn, he could have switched that out for like this. This would have been fire here. This would have been there, right? But one thing I will say though, although the vibes was not good, crowd was not good. I don't even think like, bro, like they were just not fucking with the performance. Like up until They Not Like Us. But what I will say is the symbolism behind that performance was top tier. I'm not gonna lie.
That's why you're getting so much of this negative press and negative pushback, because people are like, yo, I didn't even know the lyrics. I couldn't tell what he was saying. The people that were there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that there's other people who are going to be watching from TV and they probably just hating on it. For me, I was just like, I just felt like he should have came out with better hits. Like some of the music that we know Kendrick for, like those should have been the ones that he should have picked. And I'm not saying, for me, there's
the biggest thing that happened this year. So of course that was
I would say for me, like Not Like Us was not even my song of choice. Like it's a pedophile song.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I
can't say that on YouTube, but it's a PDF. It's a PDF anthem. It's a PDF anthem.
It's a haters on Drake PDF anthem, not a PDF anthem.
No, but it's still a PDF anthem. Like so, for me, in a way, like in a conscious way, like I wouldn't go around singing songs that kind of glorified this type of behavior.
Do you think that one of the reasons he was chosen to even do
the
Super Bowl?
It was mainly only that, but I think also Jay-Z, because Jay-Z got to make the picks.
Yeah, but I think the decision happened around the time where everything was blowing up, and it's like, okay, if you put this on the stage, like it's gonna get numbers, and it got numbers. My only thing was it didn't seem like it was a show that was built for the people that were in the room as well as the people on the.
And this is precisely why Kendrick might have actually hurt his career more than actually benefited his career. No, seriously, look at it. This was Kendrick's platform for him to actually display to the world, yo, I am going to actually do something that's going to cater to the people, the viewers, as a performer, something that everyone could like bask and share into. But he only picked it for the people who are Kendrick fans or Drake haters. He chose.
So you think it was too niche?
I thought it was too niche. I definitely think that the performance was too niche to that particular type of demographic, and it wasn't something that he was doing for everyone. It was just mainly to maybe be spiteful, but not like us. That song is already played out.
Here's where I can agree and disagree with you. One. Any performer that gets on the Super Bowl stage, not everybody's going to enjoy that performer. There's been several years where I'm like, okay, yeah, they're playing music. I don't give a F about the music they're playing. Like, there's just not something I enjoy. But we're not making a big stink over it because we expect some rock band or some whatever to be involved.
Yeah, like Eagles and people. Yeah, like, I remember they showed the clip, but it's just some crazy stuff happening. Like, but when you actually compare this performance to like, let's say Michael Jackson. Right.
That one being like.
Well, and I mean, Michael Jackson's a master performer when it comes to performance. He's a performer. Like, he's actually probably the highest regarded performer there is, musician, performer at the same time. But when you compare that to this,
how about we?
Michael, no, because he actually played into the crowd. He played into the crowd. Streaming wasn't even a thing back then, but and honestly, when he blew out of the stage and stood up. Apparently, he had like he purposely delayed his showing, and it had the organizers like kind of panicking because they're like, "What the heck? Where is he? Why is he late?" And he did that, and then stood out there for like 2 minutes, just looking at everyone. People are like getting into it, and they're doing all this other stuff with the stage. I thought that was like that's performing with the intended crowd. Like it's performing with everyone and like you're giving a show.
I think it's really simple. This was more of a TV performance than it was a stadium performance. But as far as a TV performance goes, the shit was hot. It was hot. It was hot to me. I was on my feet.
What made it a hot TV performance?
One thing was a lot of symbolism.
Was it the tight thigh bell bottom jeans or?
You're just a hater, bro.
But he was actually wearing thigh tight bell bottom jeans.
You over here hating on the style.
How am I hating when I
saw that jacket though, didn't you?
No, I thought the jacket was fresh. I thought the jacket was fresh.
Too nice.
But the bell bottom tight thigh jeans. Tell me where I'm hating when I'm just stating the obvious, what I'm visually seeing with my eyes.
The man was wearing them things, man.
What makes that cool? You tell me.
I didn't say it was cool. I just say.
Oh no! So you hating now? You hating.
But I would tell you this, man. The jacket was fresh.
I like the jacket.
There were a couple of scenes that I think that were kind of impactful in their visually, like the whole American flag with everybody that was wearing their different jumpsuits. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really cool. The way that they stepped down pretty harshly on those steps. It was really cool. That was kind of early in the performance. Sam Jackson coming out and doing a little bit of a spoken piece in between different
like Sambo.
Well, he was.
Is that what he was supposed to represent, like a Sambo or something?
No, he was supposed to represent Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam.
The American Uncle Sam, right?
But I feel
a reference to one of the Drake songs that he came out. Oh, I want to speak to the man in the house, but
I feel like that his I mean, he would have chose a white guy if he wanted to do that, right? Well, if he wanted to do like an Uncle Sam, but he chose a black guy, so wouldn't there be some type of underlying message there?
Well,
that's again, what I was seeing.
No, but again, I think there's a combo piece, which is okay. How do you represent America, but also how do you represent like Black America at the same time?
Right.
But then there's also people making these connections like a day after, 2 days after, and I'm enjoying them, but at the same time, I'm like, them went over my head.
Well, that's because people were reading more into it than what was actually displayed. You know what? No. Kendrick himself even said in an interview, people are finding some of these things and taking more interpretation more than what I've made it out to be.
It's people, they break my whole 16 bars down better than I can. You know what I'm saying? And pull something away from it different from, what inspired me to write it. So just that right there is the ultimate joy.
But see that.
Yeah, when you see a clip like that,
there's a lot of connections that could just be made, and you connecting the dots on this
people are overly reading into it.
But
And you know this. You know more people read into Kendrick.
There's a verse. I think I might have to send it to you. There's a verse that I think it was there was a video that Drake put out where he was going to that Chinese restaurant talking about something. We talked to your uncle, talking about his uncle got robbed or whatever the case was. And that whole I think it was an 8-bar lyrics was just, it was spot on to like basically being a response, the Super Bowl being a response to that. And if you look at some of the symbolism that happened, even just bringing Serena in, Crip walking out of nowhere, that was crazy.
And this is why I think Drake won.
You cannot be serious. You cannot be serious. Even after
Serena Williams is married.
Bro.
You tell me your girl goes out to the Super Bowl to Crip walk to your ex. How do you feel about that?
Look,
no. Your girl is out there.
Nah, so did you see any of her?
No. You first gotta answer that. Your girl, your girl that you're married, your wife goes out and dances in response, a negative retaliation towards your ex. Towards her ex, not your ex, but towards her ex.
Okay.
At a performance for someone else. Do you take that as a negative for you or her?
Did she make the whole show, or did she just get invited to be out there?
I mean, that's part of being the whole show. Part of being in the whole show.
Make the whole thing. She literally dressed.
That's one of the major points that people are pointing out.
She got dressed and danced on.
And Serena Williams does not look good. I'm telling you right now.
Oh my goodness, you are lying.
Have you seen what she?
Good. Hey, she looked good out there. Hey, I don't know what.
Do you know what she looked like?
I don't know what he's talking about. She looked good. She looked good. All right. You make it about something that don't even make sense. All right. She was out there crip walking. She did a thing, right? She crip walk at Wimbledon. She got invited to crip walk.
This is the Drake's ex show. He probably smashed on Serena Williams. He probably smashed on SZA.
Why you think SZA out here singing on it?
Yeah, because he smashed on her. Okay. And then Kendrick's his ex. So you got Serena, you got SZA, and you got Kendrick. Like, I mean, I don't like the fact that all of this is just like made for Drake. Like, you're using his name still. Do you? Is what I feel like. I feel like that's what he should have done.
If you get threatened, if you get threatened to be like, oh, you can't do this, so I'm gonna sue you and do all that stuff, I'm gonna just do it in your face anyway.
But Drake got sued too.
What you mean?
For making a diss track too.
By who?
The people that what was it? The Tupac thing, and apparently he said, and I'm going off of what's being said in the bars.
Yeah, but did Kendrick sue Drake?
Well, no, I'm going off of what's being said in the bars. Drake states that Kendrick went to that label and told them that, like, begged them to sue him to take that stuff down, right?
Okay.
The Drake suing wasn't even suing Kendrick. It was suing
the label.
Yeah, he was suing the label because he was saying that they were trying to misappropriate, and he was saying that they were doing some things in the background to try and dilute his artistry impact so that they wouldn't have to pay him. And so it's completely different. But in the middle of the beef itself, Drake got sued. Like, I think people just let that fly over their head, which is also insane. That part was insane. So, and it was for him using AI to sound like what was it, Tupac? And I thought that was I didn't think that
sense. Like, if you,
it didn't even sound like real Tupac.
But if you're trying to use his name and likeness and
no, he didn't even say I'm Tupac. He just, people were like, oh, he's trying to sound like Tupac. Like that's how it sounds. He was like, I'm trying to sound like Tupac.
Well, we've seen people get sued in music court for less.
But that's the thing. There is no patent on audio, like how you sound.
Yeah, but even then, we've seen people get sued in music court for less, and it'll play out in music court or whatever.
Not to this degree.
I mean, you saw what Ed Sheeran got sued for?
No.
He got sued for using a chord progression. For using a common chord progression that he literally demonstrated was in like hell of songs. He won that because he rightfully won that. Yeah. But what I'm saying is people have gotten sued.
But that makes sense.
For less.
Well, I would say it's not necessarily less, depending on.
That is less.
Well, no. So for instance, if I use a sample, right? If I'm using a sample, and some people get sued for ad libs.
Exactly.
But
That is more. Using a same chord progression is literally like saying, okay.
All right, wait. Give us an example.
So if you're talking about B, C, D, A, right? Like if you're just talking about literally a chord going from one chord to the next chord to the next chord, a four chord progression.
Right.
How many songs can you name that use that same progression? It's like hundreds upon hundreds over years and years and decades of music creation. So you're saying, oh, this song that I created last week infringes on the rights of the song that was made 3 years ago, but even 10 years before that, this chord progression was
but that's probably what worked to his favor. He was probably able to make that connection that, yeah, I used that chord progression, but you used it as well. And so did a reference of 20 other tracks 50 years, that dates 50 years back. Yeah. So why are you suing me and not all of them as well?
Exactly. And what I'm saying, my point is, that is such a minuscule reason to
I don't think so.
Sue someone that if that was worthy, quote unquote, of even starting a suit, this sounding exactly like somebody who was very prominent is probably just enough to be sued as well.
Well, I would disagree with that. Like, I think because people are using these AIs in different ways, but like I was saying, it doesn't even sound like Tupac. It was like, oh, you're trying to sound like Tupac. Like, that's what it sounded like.
Do you remember Scarlett Johansson?
On which part?
She sued, I think it was OpenAI because they had a voice setting that sounded.
Well, yeah. But using that in her likeness to like try and represent her to sell certain things, right?
They didn't even say it was her or try to use her likeness. What they did was they asked her to use her voice in the beginning. Yeah. And then when she said no, they shifted the voice slightly, ever so slightly.
But it was still that. But it actually required her to work in the AI trained based on her voicing model in order to generate something. But I would say, like in this case, like it was Drake's flow, it was Drake's everything. He was like Drake's version of Tupac was still rapping like Drake too, which is to me is like it would be different if you're like, you know, trying to have the same flow as Tupac, but like I felt like him still, you know, writing his bars in the same version of Drake. Like I was just like, oh, and it doesn't even sound like Tupac, but it sounded like he's trying to sound like Tupac.
I don't know. Was Tupac's name on
let it go. No, it wasn't. That's the thing. And like,
so people were just making that connection
and then here's the other thing. He even I believe he even did the same thing with Snoop Dogg, but I was just like, it doesn't even sound like Snoop Dogg. And Snoop Dogg saw it and he was just like, I'm just going to sleep. Right? But that's kind of like the response. Like I feel like that was the hypocrisy.
I don't know. I feel like just pushing the boundaries of like what you can probably get away with. Like if you say it's not such and such, but it sounds a lot like, it might make you perk your ears up and think about it. Then, you know, you're still using the sound of it, but I don't know. I'm gonna let them litigate that out, but I'm saying people have been sued for less. You know?
But would you say someone using someone else's flow should be suable? Like if I tried to rap like you, right?
Probably not. Just one thing about okay, so we know about like how dance is very hard to do anything with legally. Music, we have some legal standards that you can.
But that's literally me biting your style.
Exactly. But how legally have we?
No. But if you look at it in even breaking, that's your IP, right?
Yeah. You're gonna be persecuted for sure in the public eye for sure. Like somebody call out bite, you know, you're gonna get that right. People are gonna be talking about you. So there's that. But if you're talking about court stuff, like that's
no, I'm not. I'm just simply speaking to the thought of, all right, this is how you sound when you flow, and then I'm going to sound the same way when I flow, but it's going to be my voice.
Yeah.
It is, and I think it's the same type of rip from like an IP from someone who's breaking one particular way, and you see someone else kind of like bites that same style. Like we've seen this happen over and over, and those people do get persecuted. But in this case, no one's persecuted Kendrick because he actually did use Tupac's flow in one of his songs off the GNX album, but he didn't use a voice. So it's kind of like the swap. Like Drake used the AI voice, but he used Drake's flow, and then Kendrick used the Tupac flow, but the Kendrick voice.
I don't know what you're getting at, man. Because at this point,
but we can move on from this. We can move on from this. I think we're on this topic too long. But yeah, I mean, let's go back to the show. So for me, I felt like everyone was just too heavily. I just want to attack Drake. Like it just made it seem like to me, it makes it seem like that other person's winning because he got all of his exes on stage dancing and singing about him, and
he definitely ain't winning. I'm gonna tell you that. But I agree.
Not the internet battle. Not the internet battle. I think Drake lost the internet battle.
Hey man, it don't matter if you talk about internet or not. People are on the internet. Like
no, I'm not doubting the internet. I'm saying Drake definitely lost the internet battle.
I just don't know what the quote unquote internet battle. You mean like the court of public appeal? Like
no. So when we're looking at the beef, right? They went bar for bar.
Yeah.
I believe that Drake, in my opinion, had better bars than Kendrick. I thought his bars, his cadence, his sound, the progression of like his music sounded a lot better than Kendrick, and I thought it was way more witty. I thought it was way more storytelling. I thought it was way more clever, right? And I thought Kendrick, on the other hand, had a bigger pull on the internet, like meaning the internet was more able to pull on attraction, make more memes, make more of some of these things, make more of these claims and stuff like that, to where he held like it, and it wasn't. It was like
my thing. It just reached more people.
Well, I thought the court of public appeals, from how people viewed the beef, I think people were already siding with Kendrick. So Kendrick's automatically going to win on that front. But when you're looking at the bar for bar perspective, Drake definitely took it home. But people not going to take
it. For a while until Not Like Us came out, and then Not Like Us just destroyed everything.
I would still say Drake's was still better. Like musically, Drake's bars, everything was better. I think Kendrick's poor delivery.
I don't think you can you can enjoy whichever songs you like.
Yeah, for sure.
Whichever ones that kind of touched how you felt about the bars. But I think when you start to decide like, okay, who won a rap beef, like what really determines who won the actual the rap beef, who got put down the hardest. Baby.
Right. But I guess it wouldn't even be called rap beef because it's not referenced off of rap. Who won the beef?
You know what? You might be right about that. Who won the beef is expressed through rap, but that's not
I think if you're gonna look at it in terms of the beef itself, yeah, Drake lost. But I think if you look at it in terms of bar, who created better music, I think Drake won on that front.
There's a point to be made. I ain't gonna lie. You made a point. A point.
I do what I do, man.
You made a point. I don't agree with the Drake one. But I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna say, I'm Dunzo. This is my opinion.
All right.
10 toes down.
This is your closer.
This is it. If you was paying attention to the beef at all, the performance was hot. Period. I was on my feet. Everything. Everybody was singing. Day parties was singing. Everybody was watching Super Bowl, going crazy.
Wait. So where would you rate the entire halftime show performance? Where would you rate that?
Probably like a very high 7. If I'm being generous, probably like a low 8.
And what's a 10? What would you scale as a 10?
Probably Beyonce, Bruno Mars, because I keep going back and seeing that. Beyonce, Bruno Mars is tight.
Yeah.
That or Michael Jackson.
I think I would rank the Michael Jackson a 10. Mm-hmm. And seeing everything that happened at his performance. And also, it's a different era. So, people actually were able to come up to the stage, all this other stuff.
The way people reacted to Michael Jackson at that time was just different.
And I saw a stat where this might not be right or may be right, I don't know. But it said Michael Jackson reached 150.4 million.
I thought it was 133 something.
I don't know. But I remember there being like a slight percentage point off. And but that's in the era of streaming. Yeah. Like, because they were taking viewership, TV viewership and stuff like that.
100,000 off.
Yeah, I don't 100% know what these numbers were, but I think with Michael Jackson doing that with real time people there, like
everybody had to
broadcast. Yeah, you had to get on a broadcast, or you had to, it's not streaming. Like it's not any iPhone, it's not a tablet. You had to either be on a TV or there. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it looked like that place was packing. So, I would put Michael Jackson out of 10. And for
ain't nobody
this,
gonna compare to Michael Jackson, bro.
Yeah, but that's why I would say I put it at a 10.
Ain't nobody.
That's why it's a 10.
Everybody's been comparing since.
However, for this performance, I'll probably give it like a 5. Like I think it's the average performance.
Hey, the 5 being an average scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta
like if one is a 0, I'm not 1. If 1 is poor, 10 is Michael Jackson, I would put this at a 5. Like there wasn't anything that, maybe a 6. I might put it between like a 5 and a 6, somewhere within that range.
Okay, but
it wasn't. I'm not gonna say it was bad. It might have been slightly above average, but in terms of everything else, I love the dancers. The dancers, were. I think the dancers killed the choreography.
And there were some people. With some like really big accounts, Instagram accounts and stuff like that were on there. So I saw a couple of them get their shout outs in their videos online. So that was tight.
But even seeing Mustard come out there, I was just like,
Mustard.
But I didn't understand, like, why did he come out? He didn't do anything.
What you mean? He provided one of the livest beats to ever be out in this time. Like,
right, but in terms of what contributed to the performance, what did he provide?
He provided his presence, man. At this point.
No performance. You can't just say I showed up and that's an A.
That's all
A+.
he did. That's all he needed to do. Mustard. The boy put on the beat. He pressed play. That's what he did. The boy pressed play. They got the whole people jumping. That's what he did.
This is why
you gotta recognize.
This is why I have to say some people in the Kendrick audience are lost.
You gotta recognize when a man players play and a whole vibe changes. Come on, you got to recognize that man got his.
I gotta say, Mustard didn't provide anything towards the performance and entertainment factor of the entire performance.
Hey man, I was happy to see him. That's all I'm gonna say.
To be honest, I felt like I didn't really see what he looked like until I saw him on that stage.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know what he looked like until the Grammys. They had a couple of interviews.
Yeah,
like, if you saw the interviews, you saw what he looked like. But otherwise, I never seen what he looked like. His face looked like.
But having Serena on stage, crip walking to her ex while she's married is a diss to her husband. You're not gonna convince me any other way. I promise you, if you see my wife on stage crip walking to an anthem, a pedophile anthem, PDF anthem of her ex, bro, I'm like, hey, your stuff don't belong here anymore. I mean, you don't live here no more.
Wow, that's a bar. That's a little bar. It seemed like.
Are you that fixated on your ex that much?
Nah, she got invited.
You have no correlation,
invited, bro. She got invited. She ain't try to make the stuff happen. She got invited to, hey, you want to perform at the
maybe perform. You want to? It's not perform. You want to come out here and crip walk?
That's exactly what she did. She was performing. She was dancing just like dances, bro. Hey, it seemed like she had a good ass time. She was smiling. She hanging out with some people.
It just, I never want to hear from black people anymore.
Oh my God,
I don't. I believe
you sound like that meme, my boy. You know.
Well, my thing is, to my understanding, Serena has had some negative crossroads of gang affiliated violence that happened. Yeah, and I believe it killed her sister or something like that. One of her sisters.
And here's the other thing, like,
but to come out there, crip walk.
Nah, but here's the other.
And then it's about your ex, and then you're married.
Here's the other thing,
bro. What?
Here's the other thing. I think we are doing a lot of like dot connecting with.
That's not dot connecting.
Nah, we doing a lot of dot connecting with even trying to make that whole performance about the ex. She literally could have just been invited because she grew up in Compton.
She was only there.
She could have been invited because
you could have invited anyone from Compton.
And they did. There's a lot of people up there, I'm sure, from Compton.
Who did they explicitly have come out and crip walk?
I mean,
when I saw Serena just come out, I was like, "This is rat. What the hell does Serena has to do with being a part of this beef?"
Hey, look, the only reason like
if
any of us know,
if me and you are beefing, and I'm over here, I'm I'm already moved on. I got other women, and you decide to bring like my deep in the 20s. Let's just say something like that. Deep in the 20s, you bring my ex from the deep in like 20 women ago, and you bring her out there and she's crib walking. I'm like, who the, like, this makes no, and she doesn't even look good anymore. But
oh my God.
that, I'm not even,
now you dipping into things that don't matter.
bro.
She bad.
Y'all tell me.
All right.
I know y'all gonna see this photo. I know y'all gonna see this photo.
Hey,
y'all just heard him say she bad.
Hey, you wild to put a bad photo.
It's not a bad photo. She actually posed for it.
Bro, hey, don't let him do this.
She actually posed for it.
Don't let him do this.
She actually posed for it. She actually. All right, but all right. So we have SZA out there. We have Serena, and we got Kendrick. Any last thoughts?
It wasn't the craziest performance, but he did enough to get a lot of people on their feet. That's what I can say.
Did it belong? This entire performance belonged at the Super Bowl halftime, or should it have been some other considerations?
I think it was wild because people kind of didn't believe that it should be, and I think that's why it was a surprise or a shock. People are accepting it because it's wild and they like controversy, and everybody likes controversy, but should it have belonged? I don't know. It just did. It was just there.
All right. So for me, a couple of things. I think the performance probably would have fared better on a different stage. I think I'm tired of Not Like Us. I think a lot of people are tired of that track. Like, it doesn't sound good.
Cap.
I'm not lying, bro. It doesn't have age. All right. So a couple of things. So like I said, I don't think that this performance actually should have been in the halftime show for the Super Bowl. I thought that the dancers themselves, I thought they did a really great job. I thought phenomenal choreography, everything. I love the costumes. I like the stage presence, like them having the car on stage and whatnot. But bringing Serena Williams out made no sense. Bringing, SZA would have been more of the dig that would have been like, oh, well, you just released a project with SZA. I'm going to do something with her. So I don't know. But overall, I think I would give this probably like a 5.5, just to kind of be in the middle of where my range was. I couldn't see this necessarily being the best thing that Kendrick could have brought. And I know he's got better, but I don't think what he chose to make the halftime show was the most effective thing for the people there and the people watching it. Bomb!